Good day, baseball card collecting nation. This is Chris from Big 3 PC, and today is a very special mail day because we will be discussing arguably the most iconic baseball card from the 1990s, Yankees legend Derek Jeter's 1993 SP Foil rookie card. As always, if something from today's video jives with you, please feel free to reach me on YouTube, Insta, Twitter, Facebook, or by email. First, let's get one thing out of the way because some of you might be wondering, what is with the BGS 9 score on this card, Chris? I thought you only collected Gem Mint rookie cards. Well, folks, I mean, that's true, but the PSA 10 version of this card sells for not a penny less than $75,000 US. So every now and again in this hobby, we have to make some tough choices. So the thing is this merely mint version still cost me a stack, 1,100 stacks to be exact. And you may also be wondering, well, what the heck is a Blue Jays fan doing dropping a stack like that on a baseball card of a damn Yankee? Well, that's a fair question, and I'll just say this. When others were mercilessly booing Jeter at Skydome all those years, I was the one applauding him. That might sound a bit sacrilegious, but I just really respect how clutch Jeter was in the biggest moments, and also how well he carried himself over the years in the sport's most demanding market. Nothing not to like, in my opinion, other than the jersey he wore on his back for a couple of decades. So let's dig into this guy's stats, shall we? So here we see Jeter put up 72.4 WAR according to Baseball Reference over his career. He's the Yankees' all-time hit leader with 3,465 hits. He clubbed 260 home runs, had a fantastic career batting average of 310, pretty decent OPS of 817 for a middle infielder, and OPS plus of 115. So there are some quite impressive numbers there, particularly the career batting average and the almost 3,500 hits. But at the risk of alienating Yankees viewers, let me just point out that though these are very solid numbers for a shortstop, Jeter was never really the most prolific hitter or even the best player at his position in the league. His career OPS plus of 115 tells us this. I mean, this number is well below career numbers for Nomar Garciaparra and A-Rod. And then there's also the 72 WAR that he accumulated over 20 seasons. I mean, that is pretty much on the low end of what most Hall of Famers need to gain entry. And let us consider a few other players like Larry Walker, who actually had more with 72.7 career WAR plus an MVP. Or consider a present-day player like Zach Greinke, who's sitting at 71.7 WAR and will likely pass Jeter early next season. Walker and Greinke are great, and in my opinion, they're definitely Hall of Fame caliber players, but no one thinks of them as being anywhere near as good or legendary as Derek Jeter, am I right? So the career WAR was a bit surprising to me. And really, all of that is to say that, Jeter is a potentially unanimous first ballot Hall of Famer, but his regular season statistics are only a small part of the story here. And that, my friends, makes him a bit of an interesting baseball card case study. We know that baseball card collectors love big, gaudy stats, especially home runs and 4-digit OPSs. Well, Jeter really doesn't have gaudy regular season stats, and yet collectors absolutely love his massively produced junk era cards. My question when I set out to do this video was, why? Well, let's think about what else made Jeter so special. He was consistently well above average over a 20-plus year career. He always seemed to come up big when it mattered most while leading the Yankees to 5 World Series. And without question, the way he carried himself as an absolute professional was a major part of his appeal as well. So essentially, he played on the biggest stage in the biggest market, winning the most titles, while being a really great guy for 2 decades. And as such, he's an inner circle Yankees legend, regardless of what his career regular season statistics were. This, to me, is the main reason why his baseball cards are so valuable. It's simply supply and demand. There is a whole nation of Yankees fans with deep pockets who collect his cards simply because he's a Yankees legend and not because of his regular season stats. And those are the folks that little old Blue Jays fans like me have to compete with to secure his best cards, like this one. Now, we would be remiss to look at Jeter's career statistics without also considering his postseason statistics, because this guy played a full regular season's worth of games in the playoffs. It's just insane. He had 200 hits in his 158 playoff games. He had a 308 average, .838 OPS, which is well above his career regular season OPS, which goes along with this idea that Jeter was very clutch in the big moments. Along the way, as I mentioned, he won 5 World Series, and he also was the World Series MVP in 2000. So pretty impressive stuff. Now, since I like to focus on prospect and rookie cards, let's consider Jeter's early career for a moment. Jeter had a short debut in the 1995 season as an injury replacement, but then was returned to AAA after hitting only .250. So it's important to note that, like with Miguel Cabrera, Jeter's rookie cards are actually prospect cards that were released 3 years before his actual rookie season. That doesn't happen anymore because there's rules preventing it, whereby the Major League Baseball sets a date each season by which a player must have debuted in the majors in order for them to have an official rookie card produced. But I digress. After that short, unimpressive 1995 debut, the internet tells me that George Steinbrenner was so unconvinced that Jeter was the solution at shortstop that he approved a trade of Mariano Rivera for something called Felix Fermin. This, my friends, is Felix Fermin. It's his rookie card. This is 1988. Felix Fermin, he of the career 1.8 WAR, who was out of the game just 1 year after the almost trade of Mariano Rivera. He was so the object of the boss's desire that he almost cost the Yankees Rivera and quite possibly their dynasty. Fortunately, Steinbrenner was talked out of it by then assistant GM Brian Cashman. So, well done, Cash. Let's get Fermin out of here. All Jeter did in his 1996 rookie season to impress his skeptical owner was win Rookie of the Year and then bat .361 in the postseason while helping the Yanks win the World Series. Sure, there's an alternate universe out there where 12-year-old named Jeffrey Meyer is taking a bathroom break during the 8th inning of Game 1 of the ALCS, and the Yanks maybe don't even make the World Series. But in our universe, Derek Jeter is a stud whose legend began with an incredible World Series winning rookie season. With a beginning like that and all the championships that followed, how could this guy not be beloved by all baseball fans, let alone the legions of Yankees faithful? All right, so allow me to flip over to SVA card collectors. Let's get to the cards. That's enough about Jeter, the man. I was originally turned onto the Jeter chase by an article written by Casey over at SVA Card Collectors. Casey did a guest post. Casey's article wasn't specifically about the SP foil rookie card. Let's see if I can bring that up. There we go. But the content of his article really got my juices flowing, to say the least. From this article, I learned that Derek Jeter has many rookie cards. This was the junk era, after all. But not only does he have lots of rookie cards, he has loads of rookie cards that are worth a ton in gem mint form. Casey lists 13 Jeter PSA 10 rookie cards from 1993 that are worth over $500 Canadian in this article. He also points out which of those cards he thinks might be the best value and has a very interesting strategy for how you might go by acquiring some of them. And we'll kind of get into that a little bit later, but I do encourage you to go to the website, SVA Card Collectors, and have a read of it through this article for yourself. And if you want to just have a quick peek at his chart here, you can see these are a listing of a bunch of Jeter's rookie cards, and the market value listed is US dollars. So the cheapest one there, 466, 478, 469, many over 1,000, and these are all USD. So these are some super expensive rookie cards. And my question when looking at this and reading this article for the first time was, why are all these junk era rookie cards so bloody expensive? I mean, seriously, like, why are some of them selling for more money than Mike Trout's base rookie cards? Mike Trout is 27. He already has a higher WAR than Jeter, I mean, by 0.1, but still. This is, to me, a good example of how statistics do not tell the whole story when it comes to baseball card valuation. Above all else, scarcity is the key variable, and scarcity is fairly in Jeter's earliest cards' favor, at least in terms of the scarcity of the gem mint forms of them. Consider that Mike Trout's base rookie card in Topps Update 2011 has almost 5,000 PSA 10s in circulation. Now take a look at Jeter's. Notice that the SP foil, this card here right on the right, only has 22 PSA 10s. That's an incredible degree of scarcity and is the main reason why this card auctions for over 75,000 US dollars. Also note that none of Jeter's rookie cards even have 1,000 gem mints in circulation, so way less than Mike Trout's Topps Update base rookie card. Way less than pretty much any modern base rookie card for any star. So as a result, prices for his gem mint rookie cards are very strong. However, since there are millions of ungraded copies of each of them in circulation, well, maybe except for the SP foil here, the prices of their mint and ungraded cards falls precipitously with most of his ungraded rookies, selling for like $10 or less. That, of course, is in stark contrast to Mike Trout's Topps Update rookie card, which sells for like $600 ungraded. But as we know, there's a lot less of Mike Trout's base rookie cards in circulation, maybe somewhere like around 100,000. What makes this SP foil rookie card an outlier in all of this is that on the ungraded or low end side of things, it sells for more like Mike Trout's base ungraded rookie card than it does all the other Derek Jeter junk era rookie cards. Ungraded SP foils sell for a few $100, and mint copies like this one sell for over 1,000. To understand why, we have to consider that despite what you might read, the SP foil is actually a pretty rare card, especially by junk era standards. This was a special print card, and rough estimates online suggest that there are around 100,000 of them. That's comparable to how many copies of each base rookie card are produced today, including Trout's Topps Update rookie. So it does make some sense that it sells for a few $100 in ungraded form, since Trout's similarly rare ungraded rookie card sells for around $600. Other than the fact that very few, if any, modern base rookies other than Trout's ever sell for more than $100. So why would Jeter's be selling for more than that? Well, I think this is where his status as an inner circle Yankee comes into play. I can see no other reason why an ungraded rookie card with over 100,000 copies would sell for a few $100. As further evidence of how being an inner circle Yankee might be the reason for all this, mint appearing ungraded copies of Mariano Rivera's 1992 Bowman rookie card, they sell for $80 Canadian. And there's millions of that hideous card out there in circulation. Millions. And it is hideous. Go Google it. It's him in like classic 80s clothing, not even a uniform. $80 for that card, and there's millions of them. That's a ton of money for a base ungraded rookie card by today's print run standards, let alone the junk eras. Okay, back to the SP foil itself. Why is this card so rare in gem mint form? That is the question. Well, since I'll never actually get to touch my Derek Jeter card here, now that it's encased in a slab, I pulled this card out of the collection. Roger Cedeno, same exact make, SP foil, and so we can take a bit of a closer look at this. As you can see, the SP foil cards feature a fancy foil finish, and this foil paper, it's extremely delicate. Not sure how well you'll be able to make it out, but there's some very obvious edging and cornering here, as well as here, and these are just super fragile and delicate finishings on the card. I mean, I'm able to edge it pretty easily just by doing that. So because of this, you have a card that was a real challenge to pull from a pack in mint condition, let alone gem mint condition, and it was really hard to maintain in mint or gem mint condition for the last 26 years. But the foil finish is really only a part of this card's appeal, scarcity being the other part of it, but these cards, we got to remember, with the foil finish, this is basically the birthplace of today's chrome cards, and as such, I mean, they're basically a visual cornucopia when compared to the regular old paper cards that predated them. These were really cool cards in the 1990s, and they basically spawned a whole bunch of really cool cards that we have come to love today. Okay, so how hard were these cards to find and then maintain in mint and gem mint condition, you ask? Well, let's bring Beckett into this too, and consider the combined total of mint and gem mint, BGS, and PSA SP foil cards. So here's all the numbers there. You got the PSA 9 and the PSA 10s, and the BGS 9, 9.5s, and 10s, and I totaled them all up. There's only 3,411 combined mint and gem mint Jeter SP foils as graded by BGS and PSA combined. So that is less than the number of PSA, just PSA, 10 graded Topps Update Mike Trout base rookie cards in circulation. So yeah, the SP foil is ridiculously rare in mint and gem mint form. And accordingly, the prices of the near mint and mint versions of this card, they reflect this fact. Nowadays, mint graded cards, so modern day mint graded cards, so BGS and PSA 9s essentially, they tend to sell for roughly the same amount as mint looking ungraded cards. But the SP foil, not so much. PSA 9s of this card, if you look at my chart here, they sell for over $6,000. Even a PSA 8 sells for 4 to 5 times as much as an ungraded version of this card does. It's super rare for a card, even a junk era card, to have this degree of scarcity in the near mint, let alone gem mint variety. So you add it all up, you have insane scarcity in the high end of the near mint, mint, and gem mint cards. You have era relative scarcity on the low end ungraded side with only 100,000 copies of the card printed. And you have an inner circle Yankees legend on the rookie card that features a fancy, almost chromium finish that's years ahead of its time. This combo results in this basically being the card from the 1990s. It is iconic, and since I do love Jeter, I just had to have it. Now the lesson for me in all this is that scarcity and the size of a player's fan base are probably both far more important to the demand and hence prices of his cards than the actual statistics that they put up in the regular season are. That's the story here, folks, as far as I'm concerned. Okay, so what do we do with this information? What would I recommend to a Jeter fan looking to start collecting his cards? Well, as you can see from all of this information on the SP foil, the SP foil is a hard card to ignore. And if you want Jeter's best rookie card and the most iconic card of the 1990s, I would suggest just buying it in the highest graded form that you can realistically afford, just like I did. It does not matter if it is a PSA 9 or 10 or even 8. Just get the best graded form you can and be happy with it because it's a valuable card even in an ungraded form. But if you're looking for value, have a read through Casey's article because he outlines an interesting approach to collecting what I believe to be the best value of all Jeter's rookie cards, and that would be the 1993 number 449 Upper Deck hologram cards. Let's look again at the numbers for the pop reports. The base hologram is just as rare in PSA 10 form with 718 as the Bowman number 511 card with its 780. But the hologram card sells for half the price as the Bowman card for some reason. The gold hologram card is basically just as scarce as the SP foil in gem mint PSA 10 form. There's only 40 of them, relative to the SP foil's 22. And yet the gold hologram sells for almost $100,000 less. The hologram cards, in my opinion, they're underloved and they're undervalued. So if you want his best rookie card, go buy the best SP foil you can get and be done with it. If you want the best value rookie card, follow Casey's advice and go buy up some sealed factory sets of 1993 Upper Deck in search of the hologram cards. Or just buy yourself a PSA 10 base hologram card for like $350. But for those of you who are working with a bit of a smaller budget, no problem. Folks have been advocating for a low budget, snatch up as many ungraded Derek Jeter rookie cards as you possibly can before Hall of Fame induction strategy for years now. And despite this being the junk era, I'm okay with that, given the insatiable demand for Derek Jeter's cards. But even with that approach, if you're going to go the ungraded route, I still prefer Casey's strategy because a sealed box of 1993 Upper Deck is only like $50 Canadian. Now, there's some shipping for sure, but this method pretty much guarantees you, a solid conditioned regular hologram Jeter, plus a 1 in 15 chance of hitting a grand slam and finding a gold hologram Derek Jeter card in the box. And as Casey's article outlines, the conversion rate from those gold hologram cards in the sealed factory sets is pretty high to PSA 10. So I think that's a great approach and a fun one. Okay, so where next for me and my PC? Well, now that I have Jeter's best card, I'm going to probably try to hunt down a Gem Mint base hologram because that's where I see the value. And if I can find a factory set, maybe the next time I'm down in the States, so there's no massive shipping costs attached to it, I might jump on one or two of those as well. But as you all know, in addition to finding and collecting Gem Mint rookie cards of the best players, I like to personally collect first autos of the best players as well. And Jeter has 3 of those that were released in 1992. These 3 prospect card autos are not quite as iconic as the SP foil, but they still cost a pretty penny in mint, let alone Gem Mint form. So working from left to right and cheapest to most expensive, the classic best auto on the left is less rare and hence more affordable of the 3. But there's still only 1,125 copies of it, as are noted on the card itself. PSA 9 recently sold for $822, and a PSA 10 recently sold for $1,725. The front row auto card in the middle has 500 copies. Its pop report shows that it's pretty rare in mint and even near mint form, with only 4 BGS 8.5s and 19 BGS 9s. There's no BGS 9.5s that I can see. BGS 9 recently sold for $1,900, so that's even more expensive than the PSA 10 of the classic best auto, which is understandable because there's a lot less of these cards around, or half anyways. Finally, the Little Sun auto on the right only has 250 total copies, with similar degree of rarity or scarcity on the high end in terms of graded cards. There's only 3 BGS 9.5s and 21 9s. A BGS 8.5 recently sold for $1,350, and BGS 9.5 Gem Mint version of the Little Sun auto on the right sells for like $7,000 plus. Based on cost alone, I'm pretty much limited to going after the cheaper and less rare classic best auto on the left in mint or Gem Mint form. But I'm actually pretty okay with that because it's still a rare card, and I much prefer the look of the action shot as compared to the terrible high school photo shoot look of the other 2 auto options. Okay, I hope that you enjoyed today's mail day on the legendary Yankees captain Derek Jeter and his iconic 1993 SP foil rookie card. I hope that you can use some of this information presented here today to help guide your collecting decisions for early Derek Jeter cards. Just be sure to stay out of my way on any upcoming classic best auto auctions. All right? All jokes aside, as always, I would like to thank you for watching and allowing me to help you build a PC for your Big 3.